Yo, what's up guys? Chaser Revlo. In this video, we're gonna be breaking down Jerry versus Seaboth Wild. Let's get fucking into it. Let's go. He was trying to go deep middle, good return, too short. Why are you slicing that, bro? Let's see, let's take a look again. So he goes forehand on the run, open stance. He already made a mistake there again. All right, we gotta go back. We gotta go back. Hold up. All right, let's run it. So he's going forehand on the run and he's out of position. He's moving relatively slowly to that ball at a pro level, and he positions open stance, and this is a clear defensive position. So he decides to go down the line. If it was an execution error, but if he was actually trying to go down the line and aiming there, that's a bad decision. I'll break down why. Because what happens is if you go line too early here, it's very simple. The guy on the opponent on the other side is going to be able to punish you and go cross court, and now you're going to be even more on defense, even more out of position. So you're playing a losing game there. If you're watching this, you can learn from this by going cross in this situation. If your opponent puts you in this particular situation, go cross court. Now, even more nuanced tip, even more advanced tip, strategical here. Let's say you make an error and you're in this position and you go down the line, right? Like he's doing here. You have to anticipate and predict this guy going cross. So with your movement, you gotta start hustling over here. You have to start hustling over here. Or against a good player, you're gonna be left in the dust with them ripping a backhand cross. So he didn't punish him off that backhand cross, but nonetheless, he could have totally ripped that more cross, but he actually ended up forcing this guy to make an error. Let's see. Good split. Where's he gonna go here? Where's he gonna go here? Do you think he's gonna go inside in, or do you think he's gonna go inside out? I think he's gonna go inside in. I would choose to go inside in from this position unless I see this guy start to move early. Hold up, the cursor was on the wrong part. Unless he's starting to move early, then you go inside out. If not, from this opponent's court positioning here, he's basically defending his backhand side. So you got to go down the line here. You only want to go cross in this particular scenario if it's undeniable that you can hit a winner inside out. So even if you decide, hey, I want to rip the inside out, maybe you're really feeling your inside out, you can go inside out, but you got to go really big. You got to go really big there. Let's see what he does. He goes inside in. You can't make this shit up, all right? There's a rhyme and a reason why these players are going to these locations. Learn the strategies. They're actually pretty simple strategies. You just got to be disciplined with following them and just be aware of the court positioning of your opponent. Now, if you're here and you're getting your forehand on the run, you have one objective, very simple. You're gonna run to the ball, open stance, plant your right foot, plant your outside foot as far as you can away from your body, and you're gonna rip that ball as hard as you can cross court. And by as hard as you can, I don't mean uncontrollable as hard as you can. I mean as hard as you can control the ball. And you don't have to spin it that heavy or high. You can actually flatten this ball out strategically. This is for higher level players. If you're a lower level player, hit it with heavier spin and give yourself more margin with height. And this guy decides to shank the ball. Bro, I'm trying to break down some strategy here, man. What are you doing? All right, let's continue, guys. Open stance, I like it. I like it. Let's see what he does. He could actually rip the ball cross for a winner here because his opponent did not recover well. So if you see your opponent not recover off center here when they're going down the line, it's your duty, it's your obligation as a tennis player to rip a winner cross court here. Let's see. And he couldn't hit a winner. He went weak on it. Lob. Good. Good. Notice how on the overhead, he's using the overhead as a placement shot. Notice he didn't hit that as hard as he could. The overhead is a placement shot. The overhead is not a shot where you're trying to kill it as hard as you can. That's a total fallacy. If you're being taught that, it's not correct, in my opinion. Let's continue. Hold up. All right, we're back. Notice, on the run, he's going open stance. On the run, open stance. On the run, open stance. Apply that. On the surface level, he hit a good shot. And you can see, on the surface level, you can see that he hit a good shot and he forced an error. But what did he do to cause that? What did he do within his control besides just ripping a good shot? I'll show you. Let's go back. So notice, look where he's standing right now. He's standing about 5 feet behind the baseline. About 5 feet. Now, he notices the shorter ball. What he does though, look at when he's positioning his feet, he's getting tighter to the baseline. So he's trying to take space and time away. So someone on my YouTube video asked, what does it mean to take space away? So if you're looking at the court, imagine there's like a line going from this guy all the way here in a straight line, right? Let's just say that's all the space on the court. All he's doing there is he's taking space away from his opponent, meaning he moved up closer. So when he makes contact, he's going to be closer into the court, which means there's going to be less distance for the ball to travel because he's catching it earlier. So that's what taking space away means, all right? And this is something that a lot of high-level players might know about that, but a lot of lower-level players might not. So apply that into your game, please. It's going to help a ton. Now, notice what shot he can hit here. Notice his weight transfer forward. Good. And he didn't like slap the ball, right? He still ripped a solid cross-court ball, but because he took space away, his opponent couldn't move there in time to set up. He was forced to bail to the slice, and he couldn't execute it. Great return going deep middle. That's a really good target to go for. If you don't know where to go, aim deep middle on your returns. Good decision to go cross court. Even better ball there. Notice how, even in that scenario, he was weighing, should I go line or should I go cross? Go cross court if you can hit a winner. He hit a winner. So it makes total sense why he went cross court. Oh yeah, he's finding a good pattern. Stretching him on his backhand side, and then making him run on his forehand. And then trying to damage him on that shot. It's a good play. It's a good play. Let's see if he keeps repeating that. I'm curious. That's wild. These Brazilian fans are lit. I've never seen fans this turned. Wow, great disguise. Notice how he went prepared, and then he went last second, boom, drop shot. And broke his ankles. He hurt his hand. Damn. What happened? Let's go back. Let's see. Let's see what happened here. Guess he fell on his wrist or something.
Thinking about going solar, but not sure whether
Bro,
it's
I'm not
worth it
thinking
for your
about
home.
going solar.
Well, before you get quotes, there are 3 things you
Great split step. So here he goes close stance. You can't do that. But I would argue you're going to get more leverage from the ground if he were to go into a semi-open stance here. Totally, totally. I mean, there's a reason why he's spraying a lot. He's spraying the ball a lot. I would be so curious to see how Jerry operates and plays if he pops out into some more open stance. This is only 2 minutes into footage, but automatically, if I was his coach, I would start thinking about, like, let me see when he's playing points, how often is he going to close stance versus open stance? Just on like neutral balls, right? Because it's something that, like, look, if it's working for you, keep doing it. But if you're looking for a way to improve and get to the next level and continue improving even at a pro level, it's like you gotta look at these things, right? And see what can you tweak, what's within your control. If I was his coach, I would have him experiment with open stance on neutral balls, like as a general rule. Wow. Dang. Good weight transfer forward. Great decision. He went cross court because he could hit a winner. Smart. Smart. There's a reason why he didn't go down the line. Think about it. Why didn't he go down the line? He could have, but he didn't. He chose to go inside out there for a reason. Really good. Remember what I mentioned earlier in the video. Open stance, when there's like a good approach shot where you're on the run, open stance and rip the ball cross court for a winner. Let's take a look again at that. So he gives his opponent a short ball because his opponent hit a good serve. So he gives a short ball. Not really his fault. The guy hit a good serve. Now his opponent takes control of the point, goes down the line approach shot. Which in general, good strategy. Now, you can see he's on the run, he's in defense, he's scrambling. It's very simple. Just look at your opponent's position. He's all the way over here. They go down the line. So your job is very simple. Open stance, plant the right foot as far as you can, and rip the ball cross court for a winner. Boom. And now, developmentally, when you're training this, a great drill to do is have your coach feed you balls where the ball, say the coach should be replicating the down the line. So it should be, the coach should be standing either in the middle. Oh shoot, I'm on the wrong screen. So now you can see the cursor. So to do this, to improve this particular strategy in practice with your coach, this is how you can train it. So have your coach stand around here in the middle of the court. If they're a good hitter and they can like feed a good heavy ball, which they should be able to, have them stand at the baseline. If you want to make sure they can feed it kind of hard enough to you, have them stand a little bit closer. But basically, you just want them to replicate the same direction of the ball, all right? And it's gonna make the drill a little bit harder if the coach stands a little bit more this way, because then the ball's gonna be more angled away from you. So the more advanced you get, the coach can actually go more this way, so the ball's actually bouncing and going away from you. It'll make the drill a little bit harder. But when you're starting, just have the coach in the middle there or kind of more down the line, feeding the ball straight down the line, and you're gonna be standing off center here. Now, if you're a higher level player, maybe D1 or above, all right, you're gonna wanna stand actually here. And your coach is gonna feed the ball, boom, over here. And your whole job is to run. After they feed it, you're gonna run. And your goal is to rip the ball big cross court for a winner. And you wanna literally break it down into this specific situation. Now, let's talk about when you're training it. What should you look for? Very simple. The best miss when you're starting out is miss the ball a little bit long. As long as it has, some spin, but like it can even be a little bit more flat. This ball should be aggressive. This should be an aggressive shot because you're gonna be practicing going from defense to offense. If you execute this correctly, you can see exactly how he literally did it right here in this video. He went from defense to offense in literally one shot. So strategically, this is a scenario that you're gonna face a lot. You're gonna face this a lot the higher level up you go. So practice this with your coaches and you'll see a big improvement in your on the run forehands. Look how low he got in his legs there. Look how low he got in his legs there. Let's watch that again. Look at this. Also, he went open stance. He went down the line, but look, he still went open stance. So the mindset of I gotta go close stance when I go down the line, that's total BS. You don't need to do that. Look how low he got here. And then he rotates his body as he even gets lower. Wow. If you want to become a better mover instantly, this is what you need to do. On neutral balls and defensive balls, make a commitment to yourself. Go open stance every single ball. This is going to simplify your mindset when it comes to setting up on your shots, and you're going to have simplicity and clarity with what to execute. Now that you have simplicity and clarity, now all you have to focus on is getting set into a consistent, repeatable stance. Now, this is crucial for players who they're just not solid movers. Like you feel like, man, I move good, I'm a good athlete, but like for some reason my footwork is ass, right? If that's you, you got to apply this. Try this out. And look, this isn't forever, but it's a good way to give yourself an option and an opportunity to work on something like that for a block of time. It might be a few days, might be a few weeks, might be a few months. Maybe you like it and it works for you and you do this for the rest of your career, right? As a general rule. So something to try, something to apply. Wow. And also you can see that there, right? Like when he sets up for that ball. Look, this is a semi-open stance here. So his opponent, this is a very typical recovery position for his opponent here. And he's off center. So if you're in a rally and it's kind of like they're anticipating you to go cross, set up in kind of a semi-open or open stance, and your opponent isn't going to automatically think you're going to go down the line. So it's going to catch them a little bit more off guard when you're setting up, and it's going to give you the option to pull the trigger and go line a little bit easier as well. Wow. Wow. Notice how with his right foot is positioned more so under his body, which helps him generate a really good vertical component on his serve. Also, another checkpoint that you can look for is when you're in your trophy position, right before you push from the ground, where is your hand and wrist positioned in accordance to your elbow? Is your hand and wrist stacked over your elbow? Or are you already down and you're already dropping the racket? If you're dropping the racket before you push the legs up, you're gonna lose a lot of juice, a lot of power. So that's one thing to check for in video to see how can I get some more power and take a look at the upper body component with it. Notice he keeps the left hand on the racket until the ball bounces. Then he lets go of the ball, of the racket. He lets go of the racket, and you can see clearly his left arm is literally parallel with the baseline. Also, I can see his back clearly here. It's obvious. You can see it too. Look, you can see his whole back here. You can see his shoulder blade, and you can see how rotated he is. Look, his hips are in line, and his shoulders are turned a little bit more than his hips. That's called a hip-shoulder separation, and you want to separate the shoulders a little bit further than the hips. Now, take a look at when he lets go of the racket, he keeps his turn. He doesn't just undo his turn when he lets go. Most players, they let go and they're undoing their turn and they haven't even started the right arm component of the swing. So these are just very nuanced points that you can kind of think about on your forehand here. Look at his chest angle. Look at his chest angle going up on the serve. Very good. It's going to help you get a lot more juice in the ball. And if you haven't tried focusing on getting your chest angle going up as you're making contact, you're going to get a lot more power and depth. And you might miss some balls long. But that's actually a good thing because now you're hitting it the right way. Now learn how to hit it with this way. Learn how to hit it with more power, right? It's like you're used to shooting this tiny little pistol and now you got an RPG and you're shooting it and you're like, man, I'm missing now. Well, dude, you've been doing target practice with a tiny gun. Now you got the big missile, right? And you're gonna shoot it, right? And now you gotta practice with that, but you still wanna have the more powerful shot. So apply the chest angle, all right? And it will help you get a lot more power on your serve. Good spacing there. Nice. Open stance, good. Good open stance there, I like that. Open stance again, good. Very good, very good. He does amazing when he does open stance. Great open stance again, good open stance. Nice. Good open stance again, very good. Very good, very good. Solid. Well, that racket is gone. GG. GG to that racket. He's got a new decoration for his house now. Let's see when he lets go of the left hand. Look, left hand is still in the racket. Just bounced. It just bounced and he just let go of the racket. Pay attention to that. Not every player does this, But you're going to see, is this helping him or is this hurting him? And the players who don't do it, would this help them or would this hurt them? I don't really think there's an argument, or a strong one at least, that keeping the left hand on the racket until it bounces would hurt somebody, right? I'd be curious to hear that take, right? Drop that in the comments with your thoughts. But for a lot of players, keeping the left hand on the racket until it bounces is going to help their forehand tremendously, tremendously. Yep. Jerry does a good job keeping the racket on the hitting side here. Stays on the right side of his body. Let's go watch that point again. Wait, this was good. This was good. So look, he goes cross. So you can see here, this guy going down the line on that, that's a bad decision. Now, here, he's got a decision to make. Should I go cross or should I go down the line? Now, at the surface level, if your opponent, right, we're paused right now, right? So if you see your opponent right here, all right, you might say, look, well, the whole court's open, cross court, so I can just rip a winner cross. Maybe, right? At the surface level, yes. But you have to factor in, let's look back again where he was moving from. Look. So look, he's moving from all the way over here. So look, he starts here. This guy's literally at the ball boy over here. And now he's running a full sprint this way. So by the time the ball bounces, look, he's moving quickly, quick adjustment steps this way, right? So he's moving from our angle left to right. From him, he's going right to left. And he's running actively this way. He's recovering this way. So you have to make a decision here. Do I think my opponent is going to continue recovering this way? And they're going to anticipate this ball, right? Which, let's say earlier in the match, he hit a cross-court winner in a similar scenario. It's going to be even more likely that his opponent would anticipate that. So it's even more effective to do what I'm about to explain if you already show your opponent a situation here where you can actually execute a cross-court winner here. Because then they're going to be more likely to over-anticipate it. But regardless, he's moving right now this way. So you have to think, can I hit a winner cross-court? He's positioned on his backhand side, but he's really not in the best position to hit a huge angle on this shot. Because look, the ball is going to be a little higher when he makes contact. So what he's going to do is probably he's going to flatten the ball out a little bit, right? You can still hit this heavy, but with this particular positioning, he's not in the best position to hit a angle winner here, or even just a ripper cross-court winner. So from this perspective, this is when you would actually utilize the down-the-line shot. But the play is, I believe that my opponent is going to go fully committing to this side over here, right? Which, if you are his opponent over here and you're playing defense, you need to guess and go. Either fully commit to this side or guess and go, right? So he's already moving this way still. So he goes behind him down the line and he flattens the ball out. Now, why does he flatten it and why doesn't he hit it heavy? He flattens it out, one, because it's a higher ball. He's going to make contact around shoulder height. So it's going to be tough to kind of go up a lot on that ball. And number two is, if you don't want your opponent to get to a ball, by flattening it out, it's not going to be in the air as long. So when it bounces, it's going to travel without floating in the air for so long. So that's why he's going down the line there and why he's hitting it flat. Wow. Great job taking time and space away there. Cross, good. Inside out. Good, good. I knew it. I knew he was going there. So look, you can go down the line here, but just look at this, man. Like, look at the score here. Like, this is literally match point. This is literally match point, right? If you're match point, going line here, that's really risky, man. That's really risky. So strategically, I would argue that's a big error, not because he missed the shot, but just the decision to go line, you know? It's just, you don't want to take that much risk when it's literally 15-40, 3-5 down in the third set. Like, that's tough. Wow, it's a good win. Awesome. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And if you got any value out of this, like, comment, subscribe, drop a comment, drop a comment, drop a comment, subscribe, 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 and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.